All right. Hello, everybody. Good evening. We are just letting some people in. Feel free to turn your cameras on if you want to. We'd love to see your smiling faces.
It might be a little less like we're just talking to our computer if you're able. Oh, hi, Kelly. Thank you. Cool. Thanks. Hi, Nell. Yes, awesome. Thanks for spending a little bit of your Wednesday night with us.
Wednesday, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there's another lady. We'll just,
Yeah, we got a couple more people joining here. So we'll keep an eye on that throughout. But thanks for jumping on a little bit with us. I think the goal of this really is to give a pretty brief and basic understanding for someone who's brand new, whether they're brand new to ketones or have been drinking them for a while, but want to learn more about the promoting side of it. Because I know thank you, we've got some people who maybe have been drinking for a while, and then some people who have either just maybe try to sample but nothing else. So really, it's just a pretty high level overview of what the business kind of entails, and then maybe some ways to get started, right?
yep.
Do you want to tell our story a little bit?
Sure. So I think I know almost everybody on this call. But if I haven't officially met you before, my name is Maddie McCoy. This is my husband, Brendan. We live in Ripon, Wisconsin, and we have been drinking and sharing. We pretty much joined the business opportunity at the same time,
Hmm.
close to 4 years ago. It was actually spring of 2020. And my mom was the one who introduced us to ketones. We had never heard of the concept of drinking ketones before. In fact, my brain jumped right to the keto diet when my mom told me she was drinking ketones. I thought like, oh great, now my mom's doing that keto diet that everyone's doing. And then once I started to look into it a little bit, I realized, oh, this is not connected to the diet.
Hmm.
Someone can just drink this drink and have their brain fueled by ketones. So we tried it kind of skeptically from
Not
my
kind of, it
mom.
was
It
skeptically.
was skeptic. We kind of had a deal with my mom that if we tried it,
Then she wouldn't talk about it anymore.
yeah. So we were like, okay, mom. And this was or is your mother-in-law, but we were like, okay, if we try it and we really don't like it, can we like call truce that we gave this a shot, but it's just not for us? And she was like, yes. So we got our box in the mail. I remember getting those packets, and I know all of us on here drink them. So getting those packets, and I was like, wow, there's a lot of powder in here.
Hmm.
Like, this is way more powder than I was originally thinking. And like, we mixed it up just in drinking glasses because we
With
didn't
like a
even,
spoon.
yeah, we didn't
It's
even
all
have
chalky and
shaker.
clumpy and
Yeah,
yeah.
it was just a little bit of a hodgepodge mess.
Yeah.
But within the first couple of days, we both noticed different things, but definitely noticed something. For
Hmm.
me, I was working from our kitchen because it was during COVID. And I noticed that I was super productive and just like checking stuff off my list that I had been putting off. And then at the same time, wasn't going to the fridge, which was like 4 feet away from me. So I'm like, oh, this is weird. Like, I'm returning phone calls right away and I'm responding to emails that would normally make me a little crabby and like doing the stuff that I didn't really feel like doing the week prior, but something changed where I actually kind of felt motivated to do it. Um, and I felt like even after work, we weren't just like whipping something to for dinner quick together and then kind of watching Netflix and going through the motions of the week. Like we kind of were just weirdly up for doing stuff
Yeah.
after 5 o'clock, which we hadn't been before. And then if you want to share what your quick
Well,
experience
sure.
was.
Yes. The thing I was, we were going along a couple days in, and I was like, once I figure out how to actually mix it properly, I was like, oh, it tastes pretty good. But I was like, I don't know if it's really doing anything. And like Maddie had said, it was during COVID, and our big project for the pandemic was going to be to finally do our master bathroom, which had
Yep,
been gutted and sitting empty for like, I don't know, a year at
at
least.
least. Yeah.
And we had had the tile sitting there for a while, and I got up on like a Saturday morning, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 days into drinking ketones, drank my ketones, and then I proceeded to tile the entire floor and the walls of the shower without taking a break in like a span of 7 or 8 hours. And I was like, okay, maybe I am a little bit more focused and have a little bit more energy. So that was like, okay, I can get on board with this. And then honestly, like as great as if nothing else had ever changed in our lives and like all that came from it was like more energy, more focus, like the ability and wherewithal and energy to like do stuff together at night, that would have been a total like, game changer. But then like honestly, the business piece of it has been even more impactful for us. And um I can't remember where we heard this, but it's kind of like drinking ketones as if you go to the buffet and we say drinking ketones are like the salad bar,
Just drinking
just
ketones.
drinking ketones. But then
Yeah.
like when you unlock the community and the business and everything else that can come along with it if you want it to, it's like the prime rib station, the carving station, the dessert station, like everything else from the buffet all kind of it unravels. So it's been amazing for us.
Should I share a little bit about just like what the business has looked like for us, just to get a glimpse into
Yeah.
that? Because wholeheartedly, we had never done anything like this before. Our background is not in sales. Our background is not in ketones. Our background is not in network marketing or even like sharing on social media. I was the girl, and you don't have to do that, by the way, but like just for a reference point, I only like wish someone a happy birthday on Facebook. I didn't, I mean, I had never taken a selfie. I worked in education. And so the business side of it, once we started drinking it and we really liked it, I knew that if I opened up my mouth, there were probably going to be other people that were curious about it. But I also was somebody who like didn't really put myself out there a lot. I wasn't, it wasn't that I wasn't confident, but I always kind of played it safe of like, I'm going to do what people expect me to do. And this would be definitely kind of a curveball if I started doing this because people wouldn't, necessarily expect me to share about something that I loved. And genuinely, it was probably Brendan who, if you hadn't said to me once we started drinking it, he's like, Maddie, this business model makes sense. Like if if you have people in your life who are going to drink this, they will, and they like it, they will keep drinking it and share other and refer other people just naturally. And I was like, yeah, but with what time? Like we I'm like, we both work full time. We were pretty involved in other stuff. Like, I'm like, when are we gonna have time to do this? And we kind of took a leap. I will say, like, and we'll talk about this in a minute. Like, this is a very team supported thing if you want it to be, where we work super closely as a team so that if you were to decide to do this, you wouldn't be like out swimming by yourself trying to figure out what to do.
Hmm.
But like, if we hadn't taken that leap of like, okay, I know some of my friends could stand to have something that makes them feel the way this stuff feels. Like, even if I wasn't selling it, quote unquote, like, would I tell them about it? Probably, because of how good it's making me feel.
Hmm.
If we hadn't just like taken the leap, I mean, I will tell you, and we can't make income claims, right? But like within 8 months, we earned a car that this company pays for us. So I turned in my Toyota Corolla that I was really proud of because it was my first big girl car. It had a sunroof. Like, I was in love with that car for a really nice car that this company pays for me. Um, and it got to the point, now again, this was our experience, but everyone's experience is different. But with after a year of sharing it and doing this on the side, because I had another full-time job that like I was pretty involved and committed to, I was doubling my income with this than I was with my full-time job. And so in June of 2021, so I guess that's technically 13 months, uh, I left that job and have done this full time as a career ever since. Now, again, you don't have to have a goal to do that. Maybe
Hmm.
your goal is like, man, if I could, like when we started, we were genuinely like, if it offsets us both drinking it, that would be cool. And any extra to be, something fun that we do as a date or, like a little extra breathing room, that would be great. That was kind of, I didn't have these big goals to like leave my job and do this full time. But like it started with me believing that there was probably going to be a couple people in our life who would want to do this. And by do this, I mean drink it, not even join like the business. Our first customer was Brendan's dad. Our second customer was my college roommate. Like it wasn't like I had this huge influence of people that I knew. And so, and we learned and plugged into the team and what they taught us about how to start sharing it, because we had no idea what we were doing. So
Well, and I think, just not to cut you off, but I think it's important too that like it's not like we're working with something that doesn't provide value to people. Like,
yes.
Ketones work. They're proven to work. Sorry, a dog's barking. Maddie's gonna let him in. Like they're just really, they work. And like, for example, she mentioned my dad was our first customer, and it's been almost 4 years, and he still orders every single month because he loves it and it works for him. And it's not like you're constantly trying to convince somebody to try something that isn't going to do anything for them. Like, we get to work with the most scientifically backed health and wellness product in the world.
Yeah. And the first of its kind. I mean, this product is protected by 55 patents. There are 100 patents pending. Before this drink, the only way to have your body in nutritional ketosis was through eating the ketogenic diet. It's the only 100% bioidentical, naturally fermented ketones that exist. There's nothing synthetic or artificial. Even the coloring comes from fruits and vegetables. I mean, all of you have tried it, so you know that it works. Like, that's what's cool about it, is that it doesn't matter if someone's looking for energy. It doesn't matter if someone's looking for hormonal balance. It doesn't matter if someone's looking for fat loss. Like, it meets people where they're at. It's safe for, it's a little bit of a description that I have a love-hate relationship with, but we like to say it's safe womb to tomb. Like, pregnant women drink it, nursing women drink it, Brendan's grandma and grandpa who are in their 80s drink it. We have a very good friend who's 90, she's actually 100. Josh's grandma.
She's not our friend, but
yeah, but
she's
our
the
friend's
grandmother of
grandma.
our friend.
Yeah, our friend's grandma drinks
I'm sure
it.
she's a great woman.
Yeah. But I mean, it's not like this is specifically for this type of person at this age and this stage of life, which makes it a really great and genuine thing to share with anybody.
Yeah, and I think, one of the things that we were kind of drawn to be honest, because we were busy. Like, I actually had a different like side business that I was working on with a friend in like construction when we started doing this. Turns out I hate working construction. Anyway.
You like doing it, but not for money.
I like doing it when I feel like doing it.
On your own house.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway. So like, all that to say, we were not like looking for something to fill time in our day, that like we were just sitting there like, man, I wonder what we should do with all this time that we have. Like, we were busy people. And when we first started, we'd fit it into 15-minute pockets of time, whether it was on our lunch break, and we could, we had 15 minutes where we could send a couple texts or make a phone call or whatever, or like at night when we were watching Netflix or whatever, we'd, spend a little bit of time working on it. And the thing that I wish we would have like kind of figured out, honestly, a little bit sooner than we did, is not everyone has the same kind of goals with this. Like, not everyone wants to leave their job the way Maddie did. Not everyone wants to like make thousands of dollars a month. Some people, like, we've worked with plenty of people who are like, I need to make, like, there's one girl who comes to mind. She's like, I needed to make $40 a month to fill my car up with gas. And the really cool thing is, like, it doesn't.
Well, you should tell them now what she.
Well, and that was like her initial goal, which we're like, yeah, we can help you get there. And then now I forget what she just told us not that long ago.
Her highest month. I mean, we can't make income claims, but this is also an intimate group. But her proven paycheck pays for her child's childcare, which is super cool. She started out wanting to make $40 for her gas tank, and now it covers her daughter's daycare. Like, that's a huge relief for her.
Yeah. But I think where I'm going with this is, like, a lot of people think that they start something like this or start something on the side or whatever, and they need to put in 2 hours every single night or it's a failure, it's not going to work or whatever. And honestly, it's meant to kind of fit in the nooks and crannies of your day. And um, if someone has big goals, then it's going to take a little bit more action. But it's one of those things that can start wherever you want it to, and really be able to build on that. So there's no right or wrong place. The question that we get asked a lot is like there's no minimum, there's no requirement, no quota. Like no one's gonna knock down the door and be like, "Hey Jane, just so you know, it's the 30th of the month and you have to sell $1,000 worth of stuff. Otherwise, you got to buy it yourself." Like that just doesn't exist, which
Yeah.
is
That's a common
it
question,
is a kind
actually.
because I think there's probably a lot of stuff out there that is like that. Or
Hmm.
if it's like a normal
Heavy.
job like that, then it might be something where there is a requirement behind that. But we don't have that, which is one of my favorite parts about this.
And as far as,
Can I just also mention we should if there are questions that come up while we're talking, feel free to just throw them in the chat and we can answer that too. This isn't meant to just be us talking at you guys for a half hour, but keep going.
well, maybe we could, for the next couple of minutes, just share a little bit about. Clearly, we didn't like formally plan this. It's a very comfortable environment if you did decide to do this with us, but maybe just share like how we work together as a team,
Hmm.
and then maybe the couple of options for joining, and then if people do have specific questions, I don't even care if they come off mute to ask.
That was a three-parter. What should I start with?
Well, I'll share the team part and you share the options for to get started, and
Yeah,
then we'll do questions.
that sounds simple.
So the part for me that I wasn't expecting that has been really, really cool is I thought I was going to have to talk to, my father-in-law, for example, all by myself about what this was. And then, my father-in-law, that's already kind of scary because it's my father-in-law. I don't want to seem like I'm trying to sell him something, but
He can be a little intimidating too.
well, but anyway, that's what I thought. Like, how am I going to do this? Like, I don't have any background in this. And once we joined, we realized we had really joined like a team that was going to hold our hand through the process and help us learn like a really simple. I'm not necessarily a systems gal. Like, I don't like to think,
No.
yeah, like I'm not
Should see her
super.
load the dishwasher.
I'm not super organized, but it is a really simple, if you want to use it, step-by-step system of how to help someone learn about it and how to help them get started. And we help you learn that very system so that you don't have to feel like you're reinventing the wheel.
Mhm.
Not to go into details with it, but you may have noticed, if depending on who helped you get started, maybe you were first sent a little video about a campfire. Was there a video that was sent to you that's about 4 minutes long that talks about a campfire and the different kindling you can use to build the fire? So that video is available to you that as soon as somebody asks you about it, here's a quick short minute
Mhm.
or 4 minute short video that explains exactly what this is. Let me know if you want to explore it more after you have a chance to check it out. In the meantime, and this might sound familiar, right? Like I'm just kind of spilling my guts out here. In the meantime, I'm going to actually introduce you to the person who helped me learn about it so that we can learn more together and they can help answer some of your questions.
Mhm.
So you're not stuck like, oh my gosh, now she asked me like what's the ingredients and when should I drink it and how much water and oh, I'm at work. You literally get to say, like, let me introduce you to my friend so and so. She's who helped me get started and she can help you to answer your questions. So it's
Mhm.
very much like a team sport and will help you with that piece of it. So my point in right now is just for you to know like we have a system that really works. That's what we did to launch our business and what we still use when we meet someone new that's going to give it a try.
Mhm.
So just trust us on that we're not just going to give you a high five and say good luck if you decide to do it.
Well, yeah, that's very true. I also think so we have a really good friend who we do this really closely with, and in a previous life, he likes to say he was a nightclub promoter in Milwaukee, which is actually hilarious for me to think about him doing that now that we know him. But he used to always talk like this is kind of the same way that we work this business is he was his whole role was to get people to go to the nightclub, which I don't really know what that means, but like whether it was like drink promos, uh, I don't know, social media,
DJ.
like yeah, like all the stuff. And once they were in the door, then they were no like he wasn't the one playing the music. He wasn't the one making drinks. He wasn't the one doing security, all that kind of stuff. His role was really just to bring people to the club and then let the people who knew how to do those specific things do what they do really well. And it is no different with this, where if someone in your life is young mom who wants some better energy or better focus, like there are people in our community who have had that exact experience. Or if there's someone who's um 75 and wants to learn about some of the anti-aging benefits, like there's a lot of, my point is there's resources and people who have had that exact experience that are there and here to help answer questions, whether it's me or Maddie or Melissa, who I see on this call, or friends who we haven't even introduced you to yet or whatever. Like there's a whole group of people um who's only like we're here to help basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what would be the different ways if someone was like, yeah, I want to do this as a business, like what do I actually do to like change my account to from a customer account,
Hmm.
which is what you are now if you're ordering ketones online, to this would be called a promoter account.
Yeah. So first I'll just mention that there's, other than the ability to earn commissions, there's no difference between being a customer on what we call VIP or smart chip and being a promoter. Um, Customers and promoters both have the same chance to unlock the same VIP discount on all of their orders. We have someone else joining too. Customers and promoters have all the same opportunity to have the same discount on their orders, whether it's 15 or 25%, depending on if you're VIP or VIP plus. We can get into that another time. Same with the ability to earn points towards future orders by referring people, sending them $20 off coupons. Like all of that's the exact same, whether you're a customer or promoter. The difference is a promoter can also earn commissions on top of that. And really the way to change it, I did pull it up so I can share my screen too, if I can find it. I think it's this window. I gotta go hide the controls
This
so I can
always
actually
makes me
see.
kind of flustered.
So
Okay.
when you're logged into your account, I'm not logged in because we're already a promoter, so it won't say it for us, but you'd log in here and then literally it just says become a promoter, and that's it. So I'll click on that, and basically they have these kind of different starter packs, if you want to call them that. They're all super discounted. Basically, it is, oh, now I need to go back here. Basically, it's the most common ways, and we can certainly work with, whoever invited you to the call, we'll be able to lay it out a little bit more specifically and like break it down. But basically, like the two best options I think are either a 6 box or a 12 box, which are both heavily discounted. The only absolute requirement to being a promoter is a one time a year $49 kind of membership fee, and that unlocks your website and the back office and the ability to earn commissions and track it and everything like that. Everything's tracked for you. But that's kind of the only absolute requirement. But then these kind of promoter packs is kind of what they're called, whether it's 6 boxes or 12 boxes, are really designed to help you have a little bit of inventory where you don't need to have a garage full of stuff that you're like selling boxes individually and like shipping them out on your own behalf. But a lot of people, and I think probably a lot of people on this call, even a lot of people will like want to try, whether it's 3, 5, 10, whatever, like a little trial pack that you'd sell them so that they can actually taste a couple, make sure it doesn't like taste the way it tasted when I just mixed it in a glass with a spoon and it was all clumpy because I didn't mix it very well. But like just wanting to try it out to see if they like it. And that's a really, really common way for people to get started. And just having those discounted packs allow you to have that, but then also have some for yourself on a discount too. Is there anything you want to add to that?
So yeah, the way I like Brendan has a very analytical brain. I have a very like just give me the gist type of brain. So in a nutshell, and like seriously, I'm so glad you have that kind of brain because I do not.
I am too.
In
Thank you.
in a nutshell, at a minimum, to join as a promoter and unlock the ability to get paid for a whole year, it's a one-time $49 fee for the year that
Mhm.
unlocks your ability to get commissions for 12 months. There are options on that become a promoter tab where you'll see 6 boxes at 30% off, 12 boxes at 36% off. Those are, I like to describe them as almost like Costco bulk orders. And the intention behind those is one, for you to have product for yourself, like you're committed to this. You should be able to treat yourself to having like a fun assortment to pick from. But more importantly, it's so that you can offer trial packs, because most people, maybe you started with a trial pack. Most people want to get a couple to try before they would order online. So it's kind of like a side hustle to your side hustle. And then the other thing that's nice is, and we don't have to go into the full-blown details of this, but there are some really nice
I was
bonuses
gonna mention that.
that you can get after that. If
Yeah.
you grab one of those packs, that purchase goes towards that initial bonus period. So it kind of gives you a leg up in that first bonus that's worth $500. So that can be something we can talk about more.
Yeah, and I was just gonna really briefly mention that there are bonuses.
Yeah.
There's boy, I'd have to count, but there's like maybe seven or eight, maybe 10, somewhere in there, somewhere in that range. Different ones that you can hit over the course of your first 4 months. It's not an all or nothing. Like if you were to miss the first one, you can still hit the next one, and kind of go from there. It's not like you have to hit them all or you don't get to hit any of them. But we can also go over that a little bit more in detail when people do get started and decide they want to launch. So I know we have about 3 minutes. So if people have questions, either throw them in the chat or feel free to come off of mute and ask away.
We can go a little bit longer
Yeah.
than 3 minutes, but I know we talked more than we wanted to. And just so you know, and then I really will zip in case someone has a question, but if you are on this call and you're like, okay, that was helpful, I want to talk more one-on-one, like we can talk through it one-on-one together before you would do anything. I'd actually encourage that. But
Yeah, I would
so
too.
don't feel like you have to like, this is your only
it's
way
not
to
like
learn about it.
It's not like a rush and grab your credit card in the next 3 minutes.
No.
It's very much like, okay, let's get back with the person who invited you or us or whatever, connect with us somehow, and let's get another phone call set up or another Zoom set up or whatever, and we can come up with a strategy that's tailored to like whatever you want to get out of it too.
Yeah. Does anyone have a question, or was this helpful? I feel like we covered a lot.
Very helpful, by the way.
Good. Thank you, Kelly.
Yeah. I just gotta process it all, right?
Yeah.
Kind of look into it. But yeah.
Kelly,
Initially not questions, but I probably will.
that's okay.
I was gonna say, like, once this kind of like settles, there's a lot more that we kind of either touched on really briefly or didn't quite get to that is a factor too. So we can always set up another time to talk too. So that's what we get. This is what we get to do.
And I will say too, maybe this may be very helpful. Oh, thank you, Jane. You don't have to get one of the promoter packs. So if you're like, oh, that's a little bit more than I want to spend, you can literally get started for 1 box and the promoter membership. So I do want to be super transparent about that. I will say wholeheartedly, like, you can do it however you want. We just purchased one of those promoter packs last month because we go through that many samples. So what's good for you to know is that if you are not in a position to get one of those promoter packs, we have samples for you that we can send to anyone on your behalf. I promise you though, it's a lot more fun for them to pay you for the samples than for them to pay us. They'll still be your customer if they want to order with the website. They'll still use your website and everything, but don't feel the pressure of, I can't get started because I can't get one of those packs. But I will tell you wholeheartedly, like, most people like to start with 5 flavors just to see which ones they like and then order, or just give it like a little trial run. So it's nice to have that as an option if you can.
Yeah, I would agree.
But I just want to be transparent about that. Oh, and Sezzle, thank you, Becky. There is a payment plan that is called Sezzle when you go to checkout, that you can actually break the payments up over time without interest. So that's an available option too.
It's the same company, I guess you'd call it, that like Amazon and Target use for their payment option
Yeah,
too.
so it's not Prove It's payment plan. It's like a third party payment plan that they're connected to help people get started with that option.
I just want to add that that's what I use, and it's breaks it down into 4 payments bi-weekly, so it came out when I had my paychecks. So it was very helpful for
Nice.
Cool.
startup. So
That's good to know.
Thank you, Becky.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's what's cool, you guys, is that some of the people who are on our team just like hopped on to be on this call too. So like it really is a strong community that we have, that you will be in good hands if you decide to do it. I
Yeah.
feel very comfortable saying that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, oh, was anyone else going to come off mute?
Real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, just to be real quick again, sorry.
Okay, that's okay.
So you go into the website, you click on that, be a promoter, and you pay the $49, and then whatever you decide to do from there on is your choice, right? That $49 comes for the year membership, and then you can take your time to figure out what you want to do next, right?
Right.
And slowly move into it. Okay.
Yeah.
Last thing I promise is if someone were to jump in tonight and buy that promoter membership, there's going to be a big green button that says Start the Go Challenge. Don't hit it. The only reason I say that is because that's what starts that bonus period of the 4 months or 120 days, and it gives you a 14-day grace period where you can like kind of come up with a plan and a strategy and get your product in the door before it starts. So it's not like as soon as you hit the button, it automatically starts, but as soon as someone places an order, it'll automatically start to capture that volume. So I would say, don't worry about hitting start. It'll either start automatically after 14 days or it'll start automatically when somebody places an order and capture that towards your.
And it'll be like blatantly obvious. So you won't be like, where is it? Like you can't miss it.
You can't
it'll
actually do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I promise that was the last thing. So
Jenny.
I was just gonna say too, like with that ordering process, like when I helped sign up my last promoter, which was my mother, Mom, Jane on here, we could do it over the computer. We could do a Zoom like this, so I could see your screen, and if you have to, you could see mine. But I can say, okay, click that button, don't click that button, or explain like what all the packages are, the different bundles. So you're not all by yourself. Even if we're telling you right now, we can help you like through the actual order process.
For sure, that's a really good point. Yeah, I think that's great. So I know Zoom is about to cut us off for our time limit. So thank you all for taking the time out of your Wednesday night. As questions come up, feel free to reach out to me or Maddie or whoever invited you, and we're excited to do this with you. So thanks again. Have a great rest of your night.
Thanks for your time. Good night.
Thank you.